Another hard stage in the Dauphiné for the riders. All of these sprints, it's not been that easy to get to them. 180 kilometers long with a few medium mountains or hills, about 30 to 50 k's from the finish. But crucially, in comparison to the other hilly sprint stages, the Côte de Cor Vos is about 30 k's from the finish. It's not that steep, so someone like Johnny Milan could come back. But Romain Bardet enjoying his last race for Picnic Postonnel, one of the AG2R Le Mondial, the old-style jerseys before Decathlon came in. Apparently, there was a rumor this week that AG2R was stepping out as sponsor of the team and L'Oreal coming in, but that was then denied by the team. But hot conditions for the stage, 31 degrees, strong breakaway. 4 French guys in it, Labrosse, Thomas, Gernelec, Pierre Thierry. This is what Benjamin Thomas is really good at, these sort of breaks. Harold Tejada, he had a brake crash earlier in the stage. He had to abandon the race. But indeed, Leinster for Picnic also in there. They get to the Col de Bourbon, or the Bourbon Hill, as I now like to call it. And it's just little Trek chasing. So no Alpecins that I could see. Murasa was behind. Trek have taken responsibility, but they're setting their pace. And look at these cows. Like this formation, there's no farmer I can see. How have they got them in this formation? They're just doing it like that. So that was pretty cool. And Julien Bernard was a monster today. Marc Soler says, well, it is the Col de Bourbon. I'm going for a drink. He says, don't worry, I'm not attacking or anything. I'm just going to get a drink. But then Alex Baudin says, I am attacking. And the curious thing here is Alpecin kind of let this stage play out the exact way Little Trek wanted it, because they marked the move of Baudin. Mühlberger goes across. Foss was already up the road. He sits on. Alpecin sit on. It's just Baudin pulling. But actually, Alpecin need this stage to be as hard as possible in the hills. Van der Poel knows he's not going to win a sprint against Milan on a flat finish normally. But on that descent, we could see Ackermann crashing. That's the reason why all these GC teams were jockeying for position at the top of the climb. They don't want to be caught up in anything like that. So Ackermann's out, so Israel Premier Tech have to go for Jake Stewart, who won the bunch sprint on stage 1. But this break was incredibly strong. Like Labrosse, Terry, Benjamin Thomas, Gernelec, really, really strong guys on this sort of terrain. And then Foss and Baudin are caught, which I'm surprised they didn't work that well together to get across the breakaway, but it shows how strong they were in front, and Julien Bernard was to keep it at that gap. Quickstep were helping a lot, actually. They really put the breakaway in jeopardy and put the sprint in play, because I'm not sure Trek or Alpecin would have been strong enough alone to bring this back. But the last hill, the hill of the 4 winds, Alpecin, they got to try to drop Milan. And so they do a full lead out. The gap was a minute at the top of the hill. Benjamin Thomas driving this breakaway for Cofidis. X start helping. They've got Stian Friedheim, who actually, he survived the Muscat Classic hill, so he must be able to climb okay. But you see Milan on the right here. He chooses to slide. He just says, I'm sliding, I'm not full dropping. He's not panicking. It's 1k to the top. It's a gradual climb. It's 30k's from the finish. Alpecin are running out of teammates. Where's Van der Poel going to go? He's got no teammates left at this point. And so Milan just chills. And he goes to the back and just slides, has the whole team around him. And at the top, when Ineos start pulling, there's no Alpecin left. Van der Poel couldn't attack anywhere. The break stopped the road, and Milan was like 5 seconds behind. He gets on really, really quickly. So Trek, they played it perfectly today. It was as easy as they could have hoped for. Yes, the breakaway was very strong, but it was only 4 or 5 riders. Israel Premier Tech started helping with Nail, and so they got help as well. But they were hiding a bit, Trek. They were hiding. You don't see them in the front because maybe they're trying to let those teams pace. So they don't know that Milan is back. But then the gap went out to 40 seconds again. So Bernard, who was he was incredible today, had to come back and sort things out. Even though, 1 minute over 10Ks, normally you can bring that back, but not after such a hard day. Not when you've used your team the whole day. It's not like there's 5 teams that are going to spend 6 guys pacing, even 3.6Ks to go. It's just Ineos on the front. Visma aren't going to chase. Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, they're just positioning Lipovitz. I still thought the break had a chance here. It's one Trek rider, Schoens, I think, coming up to chase, but then X also put up some big units. They have Marcus Hulgaard, and so Labrosse is caught finally with about 1,500 meters to go. And you see, I think Guillaume Bovin moving up Jake Stewart on the right-hand side. He does a really good lead out, despite being sort of the last guy, trying to navigate Stewart for the last 2.5 kilometers. He puts Stewart onto the wheel of Van der Poel. He boxes him in a little bit, stays in front of him to protect him from the wind. Laurence is there trying to get amongst the little Trek train. But here, to be honest, I thought the stage was over. I mean, Trekker got 3 guys. They got boxed and then got open just at the right moment with Sturven. Sturven turns Consonni and then Jonathan Milan after he's been able to recover for a little bit on the false start downhill in the wheels. 700 meters to go. I almost stopped watching. I thought this is a done deal. Johnny Milan's the fastest sprinter here by far. Remco Evenepoel crashes though in that roundabout. It was kind of a curious crash. Come back to that in a second. And look at the leader. I mean, Johnny Milan, if they deliver him at 220, 200 to go with Consonni doing the final lead out, you see it's 300 to go. I think they've gone past. So it's still like 250 probably where they are here. But Stewart launches. Stewart launches and comes with speed on the far side. I mean, Milan gets the inside run underneath Consonni, but Stewart just destroys him. I mean, we'll see the overhead. I don't know if... I mean, Milan definitely got jumped. He got surprised. He thought they'd all try to sprint from behind him. Stewart, I mean, beautiful job. Confident. Israel confident in him, pacing with nails, even though Ackerman was out. He did win the brunt sprint before, but Milan launched when Stewart was level. I know he had the momentum, but Milan looked like he was in way too light a gear when he first opened or had to change gear, and then it was too late. Stewart had, 75 meters to go. You're not going to make up a bike length and a half. So still, though, there wasn't that characteristic big jump when Milan kicked. So maybe he was a bit tired. Remco looked to be okay, which is really, really good news for the race. But Stewart wins the biggest race of his career ahead of Laurence Varenskold, Pithy Milan, Penouet, Janier, Fred Wright, Mathieu Van der Poel, and Bastien Tranchant. Here's what the Briton had to say after the stage.
Could you feel it coming? I mean, you did well on the first stage where you were just behind the 4 Fantastic. Could you feel it coming?
Yeah, definitely. I could. I've just been getting better and better this season, and obviously I took the win in Dunkirk, which was my first win of the year and first one in a few years, and then I was so close on the first stage here. So to get redemption there on today, which was like the last opportunity for us, is really good.
Take us through that final kilometre with that roundabout and then long straight.
Yeah, I was following Milan the last 3K, and then managed to pick up G, my teammate, in the final, going and heading into 1K to go, and jumped off Milan's wheel and onto his wheel, and he just moved me into a really good position. And then Little Trek came up the inside, and kind of got a bit boxy, and managed to find my way through on the U-bend, and picked up Van der Poel's wheel, and from there I knew I just needed to kick before Milan and get a bit of a rush on him, and managed to kick at 300 before he went, and held it onto the line.
In terms of GC, no changes. I believe this has been adjusted, and so the riders caught behind the crash, like Remco, Romeo, etc., were all put on the same time. So tomorrow's the first mountain stage. Pogačar behind the 2 Vismas, Remco in the yellow jersey. It should be a good stage, short stage, but a steep finish to Dommelsey, where Jonas Vingegaard won the time trial in 2023. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao.